larger beings, like literally physically contracting down too. And now we're at that point where we can expand. You know, that's the whole expanding consciousness, expansion, the other half of it. And that's what's happening now. That's that transition to expansion.
Mm. Like
cycle change, or reset, or
yeah, it definitely. And then this is
turning your audio up.
They don't want us to think that. They just want us to think and have the energy of we're going down, down, down. But yeah, I just get the feeling that they're
trying to keep that contraction.
Yeah, trying to keep us in the box. And I think that they're literally trying to trick us, you know, that this big change isn't coming, and that somehow they I don't know if they believe it or if they're just, you know, if it's just their last act, you know, their last way to try and piss everyone off. But, you know, I don't think they...
Well, it's who they are, isn't it? They're coming from that contraction. They're from the other side of that, deep into that. That is the low vibrations here, you know. They represent that. They are the low vibrations. So if the more of us increase that vibration, increase that amount of vibration, the positive vibration, then they get squashed away. They're shrinking in that respect. So they're the ones actually contracting too. So in our reality, as it moves forward in your timeline, that's what you'll see, them shrinking. Whoever they are too, you know, or whatever manifestations they are as well, government, bankers, blah, 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 blah. These are the manifestations of those lower vibrations, you know. But yeah, it's like a program. It's those people in that program will not get out of that program because it's a low vibration program. You know, that's the timeline they're choosing, right? The more people we can sort of lift up with those, they enter a new time. Every breath you take, you're starting a new timeline, changing your timeline going forward. Externally, that reflects back, right? And that's that subconscious, unconscious communication we have as well. So the more we tap into that, the more our vibrations increase too, through and changing those timelines. So as we move forward, it's the timeline from within, but it's that timeline that's going forward. So it's a time of reflection, right? Always a time of reflection going forward because it's happening, right? I mean, physically outside of you, you can see the transition as it's happening inside of you as well. That's the flow. And it's allowing that, you know, it's really allowing because, you know, they've literally, what they do, part of their magic trick, the magic trick is separating here, you know, at the neck. Demon, you know, dividing at the neck, mon. So it's the root words, the Proto-Indo-European sort of root words. You know, D is da, divide. D, divide. Yeah. And mon, which mon can be one, can be man, but in the proto, the root, it's neck. It's neck. So they're literally dividing at the neck, and you can see this in medicine, you can see this all the way through, right? It's a division, democracy. Literally dividing the people.
Divide and conquer.
And the demons. It's splitting. It's dividing people, right? And what our journey is going forward is not division. We're now at that point where we're piecing, like putting those two parts of ourselves back together. you know, because we're divided from one half of our self-will, that spiritual, that subconscious, the gap between the breaths, right? Most people are just experiencing the breath, the outward, not the inward, right? And that's that still, all that knowing that we have, that internal knowing that everyone has, right?
Mm.
But who connects with that? The people with the mask, they're not connecting with that. Who knows if they're even real? Right?
Yeah, well,
as we say, like matrix beings and programs.
Yeah.
Because like at the moment, like we're changing the programmer. This is the election or whatever. Selection. We're selecting the programmer. Right? You know, it doesn't matter. If we get rid of the programmer, it doesn't matter either. Say we get rid of the program. The program's still running. Right? We have to get rid of the program within us. It's our own program. We change. The program changes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's like, what's that saying? When you change the way you see the world will change, or the world you see will change. But it's all coming from within to without.
Yeah, it's that flow of energy.
Yeah, and that demon thing is interesting.
You know, what are you doing with the energy?
Oh, sorry, like dividing the head from the heart, dividing the emotional body from the logical body, the left brain from the right brain. Yeah, and as you said with Edison and all this, you know,
in all of it,
box it all into a box and forget about the creativity side. Yeah, demonizing.
And it's that logical left brain too. It's funny when you know you think about NLP and hypnosis and because this is programming, right? I think it was Susquehanna Alchemy Channel brought out the he linked to a document about someone who broke down Obama's NLP, and Obama's a wizard, like a Ericksonian wizard at this stuff. So it'd be good to look at that, for people to look at that and actually see, because once you're aware of that programming and how they do it, you're thinking you're aware now. So not having that programming, staying away from that programming, or your shielding, your armor, is that critical thinking awareness. Like, yeah, that person's speaking bullshit, and I'm not going to allow that through. Right? But what they are doing is stories, you know, keep you involved in the story and distracting. And while that critical factor's down, and Obama's a master at it, but they're all doing it.
Yeah.
Politicians are just actors that speak, right? And getting people to do what they want, like a hypnotist. And they are, I mean, I've studied the NLP and all of that for such a long time now. And it's obvious to see when you a little bit of awareness too, you don't need much. Like go through that article or whatnot. If people do that, you'll instantly be able to see it from that point on in terms of politicians. These are people trying to con you, convince you, you know. So if you're just aware of their techniques, you're critically analyzing what they're saying. Then you can go, yeah, no, that makes sense, or that doesn't make sense. It's not just slips through into your subconscious, and your subconscious just goes, yep, everything's true. So a belief for your subconscious, it's true.
Yeah.
I put it into action. Yeah, I put it into vibration. So our job is connecting, you know, mind and heart together, right? On all of the reflections. So look at the work of like Hammer's research too in German New Medicine. And here you can see, because he did all the brain scans, right, on the brain.
Yeah.
So he had all these cancer patients, and he did brain scans on the brain, whatever cancer. And he worked out that there's a lesion in the brain, as well as and the spot in the brain, left, right, wherever it is in the brain, There's a lesion as well as the one in your body. They're connected, right? That one goes, the one in your body goes, right?
Yeah.
So then you can see the psyche. That's the psyche, the soul, the psyche, right? Now we're connecting those together because they are connected. In medicine, they've separated it all. No, they're still separated. What you think is not affecting what your body's doing. It's like ridiculous. So, like in putting that together, we can see that cancer is not just a physical body thing going on here as well. It's actually connected to the psyche. There's a shock that happened in the mind, like an emotional stress that wasn't expected. And so you shattered in your mind, right? And it reflected in both the brain thinking and the body, the feeling, right? So in the mind, they're together, thinking and feeling. They're the vibrations. And then it's reflected in the body as vibration. Sorry, the mind is the frequency there. And then it's reflected into the vibration in the brain.
Yep.
We have a lesion shown on scans from like 10,000, patients that he went through with this. But this is where you can also see what side of the brain. So if it's in this side of the brain, it's reflected in this side of the body, and vice versa, right? So then you can actually work out, why is this cancer in my right foot, not my left foot? Why does fungus not, if fungus is infecting my foot, why is it not jumping to my other foot in the shower or whatever? It's ridiculous, the type of things, why, if you got lymph or whatever, it's all through you, right? But why is it only affecting this on the left side of you or the right side of you? That means something in your mind, and it's putting those two sides together, balances that capacitor, frees that energy, right? Yeah, we become more of ourselves, right? We're picking up those pieces.
Balance.
So this is the time for all of that as well. This is what's all happening around us. I was so glad you got, when you put up the Spiral Up channel. Yes. It's like, it's the joining of the spiritual and the looking at it and seeing, convincing yourself of this, because it's true. It's in front of you. Things are changing with, our history is, or his story is now seen as his story, and now we're seeing our story. So we're blending that together.
Veil is lifting.
And it's beautiful, because then you can see a future, right? That's completely positive, because you're doing it in the now as well. So then every moment becomes experience that is positive. It just is positive, because why would you choose? It's being aware of everything that's going on, and your choices to choose that positivity. But that choice is not doing this. It's allowing, because nature's positive. It's all fucking positive, except for the bad, evil, right? People. But here, right? The bigger box. Let's say the bigger box, the egg, is as it is, and it's beautiful. It reflects us. So if we show it abundance, it shows us abundance. This is this technology, or the Antiquitech, if you've watched any of Sonia's stuff, earthen technology. It's earthen technology. And what they're doing is you're getting that vibration from the earth, and you're resonating with that, increasing it. So both win. No winners, no losers here. It's a draw. We both win, right? If you play chess, play for a draw, right? Because that's nature. That's how nature works. And that's all the technology. Pyramids, all of this sort of stuff was enhancing, resonating with the natural vibrations here, allowing it, increasing the vibrations. Doing it with our technology, doing it within. We are the technology. I think that's how they thought, right?
Yeah.
That's what we had. We are we do the thing, not the computer, not these things. We do that. So we just, any technology external to it is strengthening and resonating that, which we already have, we already shared. So again, we've got that win-win. You know, both nature and ourselves working together.
Equilibrium.
And that's an expansion. Now we're changing reality, we're expanding. But by resonance, by vibrational resonance. So I mean, we can all see it too. You know, people can see it nowadays, hopefully, more and more. But it's allowing it. It's allowing it. I mean, the lot of stuff, the lot of research and that sort of stuff I've done, it was only for myself, it was only to convince this part of me that this part is here. Right. So I could connect. It was what my brain needed, and I was very, very Asperger's, which is stuck in a sort of a frequency there of the brain. I had to synchronize the brain to kind of free myself of that, which is what we're all doing. This is all part of the meditation and that sort of stuff is aligning those frequencies in the brain. So balancing the brain hemispheres. It's like earthing. Earthing magic, right? So, so I'm earthed all the time, like 24/7. And I notice when I disconnect from that earthing, because the frequencies in the brain, the left becomes more dominant as it was again. But if we're always earthed, what happens, you can see this in the EEG scans and stuff as well. The left and the right synchronize. What's happening is if it's left brain dominant, the left brain comes down to meet the right. So 15 minutes of being earthed. That's what happens. That's why you stand on the grass 15 minutes. Oh, that's why people in the shower, so inspirational in the shower, because you're earthed. 15 minutes, earth, balance. So two sides come together equal, so it's creative and logic, and then we can see. You can see, like knowing, see when you're balanced. And the trick is, right, the secret is to keep 24/7, like that's how we're supposed to be. That's us connected with nature, physically, everything. Now, everything's reflected in both the physical and the internal as well, right? So we have to connect, and it's like the pyramids, those vibrations, right, into the earth. That's the frequency of the earth anyway. It's a resonance. So then you've got the ground and the pyramid on top, and they're both resonating at the same. They're both energy producers, so they both build together, right? And that's what we're doing here too. Once you've connected them, once you've in the mind too, the thinking, once the thinking's balanced, right? So the thinking part of the mind, which is brain reflection, right? Once that's balanced, then you can connect with the heart. You can't do it if you're imbalanced, right? So it's the synchronization of the brain, which you can do by standing on the earth, like if you're imbalanced. But the thing is, the secret, you got to keep doing it because it becomes comfortable. You're addicted to it now. You're addicted to being balanced. So when you're in balance, you feel it. You go, no, I don't like that. Oh, I get a feeling. Yeah, knowing. This is actually a secret to all the healing. I talk people through healing, like how to heal themselves. They're always at a point of the worst point. I've tried everything else. Here's this crazy person. But it's just realigning that perception, kind of showing them through, like the way I did it for myself, like earthing, I can show you. Let's do it now. I'll show you now. Thermal and photographic images of the effects of earthing. So on the left there, you should see the red.
Yep.
Inflammation. And on the right, after like 15 minutes earthing, no inflammation.
Wow.
Right? Blue, right? So right there in front of you, you can see if you're earthing, your inflammation goes away. Your pain goes away. This is pain. Inflammation is pain. It's reflected as pain in the body. What's it telling you? It's telling you to stop, rest, reconnect, reset. We're going through a reset, right? Now, you choose what reset you want. Reset your body. You know, that gets rid of the programming too.
When you go out to the bush and spend, you know, like even a day or a few days in the bush, and then you come back to the city, it's like you almost have to reacclimatize. It's just like this bang kind of thing, isn't it?
Yep, and that is going back into all of those frequencies around you. If you are Earth, you know, that's going to get rid of a lot of this G effect.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, whatever G we're up to now, right? The earthing, it goes through your skin straight to the ground.
And that's why, like shoes, right, and rubber soles, it disconnects between the earth and us. And if you think of us as like a circuit,
we are already disconnected.
The ground and the sky.
They've already disconnected us.
Yeah, that disconnects it.
They've already disconnected us. If you're not connected to the ground, Earth, on the same frequency, you know, you're now a capacitor against the Earth, right? And you're building charge with every moment.
Yeah, well, just
what is that charge? It's stress. It's reflected in the body as stress, not good stress, not eustress, you know, not distress.
Yeah,
there's stress. We can have eustress, which is what you can choose to be going through right now. You know, with all this new information and it's exciting. You go, oh my God. You know, and you get energetic and your stuff, but that refreshes you, refreshes your system. It's like off, on, you know, but a nice, beautiful pattern through, like your breath, right? It refreshes you. But the other side of that, the distress, no, that's when you shut off completely and your body just goes into inflammation, like seizing up at every part, mind and body. So if something happens in the body too, it'll be reflected in the mind, right? So if you hurt this organ physically, like someone stabs you in the liver or whatever, you'll get liver effects from that, and your brain's just working it out. It's just coming to the thinking because they're connected. You know, they're connected in the subconscious. We're connecting it in the conscious awareness. So now they're connected in both. We are connected.
Yeah,
I want to show you something else with that.
I used to take it
in as well.
And it's interesting because have you heard of Marco Rodin and the Rodin coil?
Yep.
Yep. And how it's
vortex.
It's vortex math. Yeah, and it's a winding of 3 instead of 2. And that's how he reckons he's tapping into the ether. And when you think about it, you know, we've got a left hemisphere and a right hemisphere, you know, the positive and the negative, if you want to think of it that way, the poles. And if we're not standing on the ground, then that's not the third circuit. We're not earthed. And also look at every building. What happens when you don't earth them?
Yep.
You know, it's like you said, the power just builds up until it goes boom. So, yeah.
It has to go somewhere, that energy. And what's the information of that energy?
Yeah.
If it's distress, coming from stress, it's anger, hate, all of that sort of stuff. That's the energy going with that vibration.
Yeah.
You know, as a release, it's like try not to be affected by that.
Yeah, good point. Yeah. So
but if you're connected,
eustress, to let it go. Oh, okay. Pre-earthing after. So that's the frequency.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
When are you healing?
When you're resting.
In the parasympathetic nervous system, right? So if I'm a healer, when are you 100% healing? Let me put it that way.
When am I 100%?
When is your whole body and mind 100% healing?
So if there's a point that I ever am, it would be meditation.
That's with a D.
A D?
Look in front of you.
That's coffee.
It's red. It's staring you in the face, and it's red, and it's delta. So look at the delta on there.
Oh yeah, okay. The chart, yeah, delta brainwaves, yeah.
That's 100% healing.
Yeah, it is.
Your body's in 100% healing mode. And now look at the other one. So if you're not earthed when you're sleeping, do you think you're healing as much as you can be? Like you're having trouble sleeping? Like when you earth yourself, look at the delta, just poof, that's amount, that's quality, that's quantity, that's both, right? Just poof, skyrockets. Do you think you're going to heal faster? You know, if you're earthed all the time, do you think you're even going to need healing? Right, your body stays balanced. It just stays beautiful. So, you know, I'm not saying this is just sleep after 1 hour of earthing. You know, we're talking if you're earth sleep, that's 8 hours more earthing for yourself. That 8 hours in and out of delta, but you're getting like 4 hours of this, not 4 hours of that, or if that, because you're probably not sleeping. Right? So now during the day, when you're or you know, like splitting up the day, it's like just into a 3, so 8, 8, 8.
Yep.
And so 8 hours is awake and aware, alpha, beta, yeah. But there's also that point in the middle, which is this balance in the middle, which is what I think. What I do is meditation. I do a lot of meditation, you know, because that right there is kind of at the midpoint between healing and non-healing sort of thing as well. But, you know, at 8 hours active, you know, just look at the healing sort of line of this, you know, you're active, but you still rest. And so it's moments of eustress, but you're still relaxed, you know, so you're pretty much healing all the way through the day if you're synced and your brain waves are well, correct. I mean, balanced, just balanced with nature as nature shows us. You know? So this here is the secret to healing anything, to be honest. Like, but people don't do it. Like, you know, I go through this, like this is actually good where I can talk you through that sort of one basic little concept of earthing. But once you know it, you'll just do it 100% of the time, because how could you not? Every time you're not, you're in fight-flight mode, full stop. You know, it's really hard to keep yourself calm because you keep wanting to go to fight-flight mode. You know, so some people will have a really positive mindset that's kind of like overdrive of eustress, but you're going to crash from that sort of thing. You got to ride. It's like becoming a surfer and just surfing, you know, like your breath, you know. Yeah. So looking at that gap between your breaths, you know, there's a difference between holding your breath and suspension of breath. You're not close. If you're holding your breath, you breathe in, cut it off, right, somewhere. But if it's a suspension of breath, there's no cutoff. No. It just goes through that wave. It's the same energy, so it's continuous DC current.
Mm. And that's another
so
thing.
It's that, in one breath it shows us all of life.
Like we're taught there's only 2 parts to breathing, you know, it's in and out. But like you say, there's that third part, which is and you know, it's not a holding, it's just a, I don't know, the gap between the breaths. And that's also the same as like, you know, the three circuits, you know, in electricity in our body. You know, we're missing one part of it, and so it's not working. So the whole circuit's out of whack.
Jesus said it best, didn't he? He said, you know, what are we? He says, you know, asking him. He says, we are a moment and a pause, right? The 2 sides of self. We're a moment and a rest. People are missing that rest part, which is the gap. Yeah. Not the out breath, or you know.
Well, it's like what is.
So you follow that breath, and it's not even being aware of it, but because you become aware of it. just by placing your awareness on the breath and follow the breath in and out. It's a suspension too. You're not holding it. You're not doing anything. You just become aware of that moment. And that moment is a full knowing.
Mm. And it's interesting.
So the more you become aware and keep aware of that moment, you balance the two halves of yourself.
And when you do, it starts to, have you found yourself sitting there not breathing before? Sometimes I'll just be sitting there.
Expand. Those moments.
Daydreaming, just caught in the gap. And then I'll go, oh, I should breathe out. But I'm not holding my breath. It's not, uncomfortable or anything. It's just like, oh, I probably should breathe out.
Still. But at that point, you're dead. You're dead at that point. So every moment is death and life.
Yeah, what do they say? That reality is rebuilt
balancing that
a couple of thousand times a second?
You can be in each moment forever, sort of thing. We are. But it's that stopping of the world and starting the world, stopping of the world. And your thoughts are the same. It's when you become aware of the gap, there is no thoughts in the gap. It's not like condensing down to a focus of one thought. It's all thoughts.
Yeah.
It's knowing. It is not. So in moments you every moment you're going through full knowing. It's just becoming. It's like looking for your glasses. They're on your head. So it's allowing or becoming aware of something you already do. It's natural to everyone.
Yeah.
It's balancing.
That's the choice in the moment.
I think of it, because a lot of people say, like, raise your vibration, but just a little bit more precise, I would say, is increase your vibration. Balance and increase. Because you really have to balance the mind to connect with the heart. So now we're all aligned, and then we're resonating, right? That we resonate with nature. Boom. And that's the infectious nature of this. That's the real infection. That can be the virus if you want it to be the virus.
Yeah.
All of man, virus, all of man. That's the vibration we can do. That's what we are doing. And so the more we increase that vibration, that's the choice. But the choice, like I look at it, it's not like a choice that I have to do or not. It's allow. It's allowing something you already have. It's the same as like communication, like with the technology and stuff. We already have a mobile phone within us, sort of thing. Like I make calls all the time. No one picks them up. No one picks them up. But I make the call just in case one day they'll pick up and say good day. It's like you can look at this as subliminal, under the lemon, right? You're daydreaming. You're going into a daydream. You're bringing up the energy of the other person in whatever way, increasing that energy. You're communicating with them with their energy signature. Yeah. Say good day. But on the other end, they're usually in delta, beta, busy, da-da-da. So this is all still subconscious for them. And you can be very manipulative because it's still, that's where spiritual attacks and all this sort of stuff happen. That's what people are doing out there, right? They're picking up on your signature. But if you stay critically aware, spiritual attacks don't bother you or whatever. Because it's you feel a bad energy. You're like, no, you're an observer. You're an observer. So you're going, oh, no, that feeling's not something. So I don't want to experience that. Thank you. It's the same as like a hate or something now. Like still that energy will come up, the anger. But there's evil people doing evil shit out there, right? So anger comes up in me. Yeah. It's like, yeah, but I don't roll with that. I acknowledge that. You acknowledge it. Yeah, shit going on. But I don't roll with that energy. I know it. I know that energy.
Yeah. Well, intention is one of those things, isn't it?
And I felt it. I have felt it, right? It's not like I'm unfeeling.
Yeah. Because you have the choice, and you know, people with intention think that they need to kind of fight something. But the thing is, as soon as you're thinking about that thing, you're giving it energy. You know, it's that old saying, where attention goes, energy flows. So, you know, the further you try and push it away, the closer you're actually drawing it. So it's like you say, you have this intention of interested, but you're not attached to it. You're just, oh, that's just happening. Whatever happens, happens. I'm not going to feed it, you know. And you kind of, and that's trust as well, isn't it? Trust in yourself, in the universe, in the, you know, you're on the right path.
And trust is faith. You know, a lot of these knowings I have, I don't tell other people. I usually only tell people that the left brain, what they need for their brain to understand what's going on, for their brain to synchronize with the information so they can see a larger picture, or a way for them. You know, that's clear for them where they can go. You know, like in healing and that sort of stuff. But you know, it's the choice of eustress as well, you know, as opposed to the distress. Because when you are in that distress, it's like you've got to realize how natural all this stuff is. Like, if I need to go to the toilet right now, my brain's in beta. It's not thinking logically, rationally, critically, you know, any of that. So you need to go to the toilet. And then you can come back to an alpha, to a nice, relaxed, calm state where and if you're aware, you know, you're the observer. So you're the observer of what's going on. That's your protection. You can see what's coming in. You can see if people are coming in. You feel them. But the trust and the faith is that feeling, not thinking. It's the feeling, right? Because that's what we don't. We can, you know, sort of cancel out that capacitor, sort of bring it together, synchronize, so we can communicate that with the feeling and prove it to ourselves. So we prove all things. So we're proving that to ourselves that, man, every time that I have this feeling, this happens, this happens. What's proof? What is proof? So the definition of proof is just
belief.
Enough evidence to convince you that it's true. Right? So for yourself, if you want to prove this to yourself, you build up enough evidence. Like, every time I do this happens. You know, every time I get this feeling, this happens. So you're connecting, and that's you're building trust, you're building faith. At some point, you just go, I'm going to fucking allow it because I've proved it. I know it. And you know it. So you can do that with yourself, but you've done it through aligning and going through and giving the brain what it needs to perceive what is correctly.
Definitely.
So it can be what you want with it. Yeah.
And in a physical sense, it's...
I mean, that's really like a safe choice, but it's allowing. You know, the choice is easy. It's just allowing. It's just what you do naturally. The choice is easy. It's like a non-choice. Yeah, you know. The choice is how we interact with energy. How do you interact with energy? Are you reacted by it? So energy is coming from the heart. This is just what we get. This is the present. Like, how do you react? How do you interact with that energy? Do you react to it? So I have a reaction on it, and then another reaction on that reaction, on that reaction, on that reaction. Or do I transform it? Do I resonate with it? You know, I mean, if I'm reacting to that, look at all these things I have to go through to kind of realign. So interact with that energy is very important. And that's coming from the heart. Like, you know, you can go through the bodies, you know. I mean, your physical body is a brain with two hemispheres, brain. You know, thought, but thinking thought. And then your body, you know, hormones, there's all of that sort of stuff, left and right side. And you're putting them together, brain and body. Where do they come together? In the heart.
In the heart.
Like physically it happens like this. So we can see that, right? And the energy's coming through the heart, and it's separated, you know, divided. You're shattered. Our world's shattered. So bang into thinking. So brain thinking, body feeling, right? So now let's go into the mind body, right? Which is the mind body is thinking and feeling, right? So feeling vibration and thinking vibration together, right? And then we go, and so the physical body is the vibration. So we've got the mental body here, and then the spiritual body, energy. So Tesla, energy, frequency, vibration, in that order. Energy being heart, frequency being mental body, thinking and feeling frequency, right? But most people are just, you know, the thinking, but they're not really. Women are much better at the feeling.
Not tuning the radio.
But not connecting it with thinking to express that. So that's our disconnect between male and female as well. Mm. But when you balance yourself, you understand both sides and what's happening because you're balanced between them, but you are an expression of male or female. Yeah. So be that expression. You know, you want to vibrate, increase your expression, your experience. So be who you are. So you can see that trinity, right? Mind, body, heart. But so heart is energy, frequency is thought, and so that's the fractal. That's the fractal notes. So cymatics and all of this too. Yeah. That's the information, the frequency, the pattern that's held, and the vibration is the manifestation. So what we experience in the body, what we experience in the brain, what we're experiencing in life here, right? That's the vibration. So he's got that right? Whoever this Tesla is, he's got that right. Boom, 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 and that you can expand. So when you look at like a church or the cathedrals or what, the technology they're doing there is that they give energy to it. Like we give energy to that, right? But we take energy as well. It's this beautiful balance. So when we put our vibrations there, but there's always an activator. It's like the little Tesla, little vibrating little thing, right? Like 6 pounds of pressure, and he puts it on the building, and the whole building resonates. Yeah, that's activated. That's activating the tech, right? Because now the building's vibrating physically, and it's vibrating at the frequencies that you see, which are balanced with nature, with the ground below it. They're now vibrating together. We go in there. We vibrate together with it. This is a win, 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 win. This is the technology. You know, that's the technology. It's amazing. It's wonderful. But you just activate it. Same as the Praveen, you know, with the Angkor Wat. The last video, that was amazing. And there's the activation of the machine. That's the resonance point. That's the point where we put the energy there. So it's vibrating. So then that little 6 pound thing vibrating the entire, so like in the pyramid, you know, the sarcophagus vibrating. It doesn't need much. It only needs a bit, and because everything's resonating together, it's on. Then the pyramid's on. Then the churches are on. Then all the other effects take place. Then the electricity works because it's resonance. It's resonance. What's happening? What activates the flow of electricity going on here? That's your free electrical energy, right? But there's all of these different energies involved with it. You know. Is that making sense?
Like choirs and organs, or do you think that there was an actual Antiquitech device that was resonating?
So the building itself is the device that's resonating, but also their healing centers as well. So you go in there, you lay on the altar. What's wrong with you? My liver's out of whack.
Yeah.
Okay, so play the liver organ. You know, that beautiful music with liver being, you know.
Yeah, play.
I knew how to do it properly.
Yeah.
And then so your liver finds the vibration and can resonate itself at its own natural resonance, which increases. And what happens when you increase the resonance of something? Anything that's like sand, you know, and you've got this thing sitting on top, and you resonate the sand, and it gets rid of the thing. It gets rid of the thing. Clears itself. It's the strongest frequency. Every other frequency just flows out.
Yeah.
That's the problem with the liver. So then good to go. But not only that, I mean, more like, you know, group. When people come in, like you could have whoever on the altar, and the group is sending healing energies as well as the resonance, because all their livers are now resonating at that same. They're all helping each other. Should really go through there's cooperative healing, which is really just like hands-on healing.
In training, is what it's called?
Pretty much. You entrain to someone else. So if there's a healthy person and a sick person, and you link them together, pretty much, you know, they're touching a connection, a relaxation connection. The stronger one, the weaker one comes to the same as the stronger one. But the more people you add to that circuit, like physical circuit too, that's all, you know, like cooperative healing.
Yeah.
We can do this without the physical as well, of course. But this proves to ourselves what's going on here, right? And this was, you know, cooperative healing is a book that you can download, I think, too. And it's from a scientist who went through and did all the research on this as well. But like, you know, he went further and got like files of all these different things, right? Drugs and all these different things, and he put two electrode and a anode cathode, 2 electrodes, and held on to them pretty much. Put it in the circuit, positive and negative, 2 minutes, and he felt the effects. So then he could, as a blind study, go through all these drugs and go, I felt like this and I felt like this, and you match them up. He got sent marijuana as well. He's like, it's nice and relaxing, this one too. It's the vibration and the electrical difference. All of this is information. That's the information of whatever it is. You only have to have the experience once, anyway, whatever experience it is, because the memory is, then you have the memory of that experience. So you can bring back that memory in the body, in the mind, both. But people can't bring it back in the body because they're disconnected. But I can just, like, I haven't had DMT for a long time. I've had a couple of trips of DMT, not a lot, and got a lot of knowledge from it, but I don't really need it anymore. Like, I do have like a little crystal, and I can just smell it, and just the smell, and I'm pretty much out of there. You can go with that energy as well, but it's connecting the feeling. It's that feeling frequency and thinking. So you bring back a memory of anything you want, you know, and then you can keep it going and enhance that, cycle it pretty much. So it's going through a cycle, getting stronger and stronger and stronger. That's resonance, right? We can set our program to do that.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, memories are interesting, aren't they? Do we actually remember memories, or do we access memories? Because, like you said, a memory is really just getting on the same frequency as you were, or as you know, if the past exists, you know, getting back on that frequency, and then you're actually not in the past, you're there now, if you know what I mean. So the past, you know, you can never go to the past or the future, it's all now.
Yeah, it all comes back on itself anyway. It's all coming back on itself.
Taurus.
To that point in the middle, now, that present and moment. But that's how you can time in time. So it's really aligning the, like, I mean, that's a key word at the moment, timelines. Big keyword in right everywhere, because that's what's happening. Like you need to come to grips with timelines and time, so that so the knowledge you're getting from it is, I can choose my timeline, right? You know, I'm choosing my time. I'm changing my future. I'm changing my past. Literally, right? Like your brain, your mind, your thinking, your feeling, all of this can change, but it changes into a higher vibration or a lower vibration. They're your two choices.
Yeah.
In this box that we're in anyway, they're your two choices. So if you ignore the higher vibration, if you vibrate with the higher frequency, you're going up and out, really, up and out. But the way you're going up and out is by your timeline changing, and everyone around you come up to. So if you're changing your timeline, you're changing your future, your actual future.
Yeah.
Your past will change. Go with it. But I mean, your mind can understand it. You can go through like the changes in the past, but that's more proof to connect ourselves to our heart. But it's a knowing that my past changes as my future changes. My future changes as my past changes. So right now, can you see a beautiful civilization in the past?
Yeah, sure.
Can you? We all can see a beautiful civilization in the past. Guess what happens now? Now we can see a beautiful future in our future.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. We can.
I mean, this is what changed for me. My past was fucking horrible. There's war and all this shit they're talking about, which didn't exist. It was beautiful. It was this beautiful earthen technology. It was communicating beings on high frequency, on a goal to resonate and go higher. Somehow we just went down with the beast, the archons, right? On the arc, on our heart, corona, on a heart. They're on top of, squashing. That's the meaning. You know, the root word is on, above, on top of, on. That's in the middle there. That's the root word. This whole core on us. Right? so it's getting them off. You know, they're blocking you from your connecting with your heart. So the way to get them off your heart is to connect stronger and vibrate your heart. That's stealing of the soul is your heart. Yeah. You've lost connection with your heart. Just thinking.
Yeah.
Which is all just reacting, creating all these other things going on. But we have to sort of balance and put back together and work out gently. It takes a bit of time to do it, for your mind to do it. So you know, because you can have the feeling too. It's because you can always be relaxed and in the moment relaxed as well, because we get this chance every time. We go back home every time, every breath, back to the gap. Gap is home. I mean gap is source too.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
Static awareness. Before splitting, before dividing, before splitting into two, static awareness.
Yeah.
So that's our reset. We do a reset every breath that we can go through and become aware of. The word is allow. Just to allow it to be, because that's finding yourself. All of that sort of stuff. Finding yourself. Who am I? That's how you know. Because it's a feeling of knowing, right?
Yeah. Isn't it funny how so many people try and find
coming back into
walking around the earth? When, you know, it's like that saying, no matter where you go, you know, you take yourself there.
Yeah. Looking externally. I mean, that's the whole thing with soulmates and that sort of stuff as well. So,
yeah, what do you think about that and this whole twin flame? I've sort of seen that dotted around a lot, this twin flame thing.
And as ayahuasca, like people go into that, they say, "Oh, Lady Ayahuasca, Lady Ayahuasca," and my experience is, yeah, but when I talk to females, because that's a male view, I've actually talked to females who have taken DMT and they're like, "No, I don't get that." The Lady Ayahuasca sort of thing.
Okay.
For them, it might be man ayahuasca. The realization I had was a connection of knowing. I mean, when you go into that, it's a feeling of deja vu, knowing. I know where I am, which is marijuana backwards, by the way. Marijuana, I know where I am.
Yeah, right.
So knowing, it's that deja vu, that feeling of knowing it's actually. Wow. I had the realization afterwards. So looking back on those experiences, I see that she's my soulmate. I'm the masculine in the physical reality. There needs to be a balance. There needs to be a feminine.
So yeah, so it's more to do with reconnecting to an energy than a physical person.
Not like two different beings.
The balance.
It's kind of when I had the realization, and you know, because my first DMT, there was music playing, and it felt like. And when I went into this space and she was there, I was like, oh. I brought the music with me. It was Frankie Sinatra. I brought it with me, and she danced, and we just danced together in this thing, and it was just. I didn't have any questions or anything at that time as well. It's just like. I don't have any questions. I just want to know what's going on here. And it was just that feeling of knowing and being fullness again, you know, one again, which is we can have this every breath. And that's where I you know, when I had the realization of that, I was just flooded with remember. So I don't know, you know, take that as you want, because I don't know, like other people might have different experiences or whatnot, but that's what I feel is going on. Your true soulmate is yourself, find yourself, and it's the other half of yourself. It's the only reason that, you know, you're searching and finding or have that searching is because you're one-sided and you're missing the other half. The other half is your soulmate, put them together. Right, but it's you. It's just more of your being.
Yeah.
Well, your complete being. But they have to be separate as well, right?
Yeah. I mean, when they both
through the heart, you're together.
Perspectives, yeah.
They exist separately as
yeah. Which again is the whole three, and of course we hear so much about the Trinity and all that kind of stuff, isn't it? It's
you get the programming. The programming is beneficial for us to know what's going on. That's how we know what they're doing. When you see through their techniques, you see the technique. You know, so you can see what they're doing, why they're doing it, what they're trying to do, which is, and literally divide at the neck, you know, disconnect from heart. That's what they're doing. So what we need to do is the opposite and connect with our heart in everything we do, every moment of the time, every moment of every moment. Just be consciously aware of that. Why not? You can set really good habits very quickly. I mean, we can use these phones. You know, get your phone, set up like an hourly vibrating alarm. So every hour it just vibrates you, right? So, oh, that's my, oh, I've become conscious. Conscious of what? Whatever you want. But what you're doing is you're setting up a habit.
Yeah.
So even when, you know, after a while, this becomes a habit, right? So it's a program running, but you've created this program. I did it with doorways, right? When I was putting this stuff into action, right? How many doorways do you go through every day? Like jump in the car and, you know, how many doorways? Right? Every time I walk through a doorway, because I've stood in front of a doorway and I've centered myself and I've centered my being, centered my body, centered my breath, brought, you know, heart awareness in it. So bring a good memory that gives you love and gratitude, you know, and bring that and put that into your heart and feel that vibration, you know, in a doorway. I'm doing this in a doorway. What I'm doing is anchoring this to the doorway. I'm putting a smile on my face. I'm vibrating. I'm doing a whole bunch of things. Go through a routine, whatever you want to change to, right? Or be more of, right? I want to express these vibrations better, more, like smiling or whatever, right? Just happy, being happy. So put yourself in that and really get it. And once you get it, you push on the door or something. You know, you kind of anchor it in the door. You do that walk, that step through the door. Every door you go through from that, you've anchored. So you come through a door and you're like, oh, your body goes through all of those changes rapidly, instantly. You've used the NLP, you've used the magic against these guys, you know, for yourself to reconnect with your heart all the time. So every time you're going through a door, through anything like that, you're reconnecting with it. It's awesome. Same as when I take shit. There's a moment where I'm sitting, we do it every day, and I go through, right, and I feel great, and I come out.
Visualize that you're getting rid of all.
Amazing,
right?
How can you not do it? You know?
Yeah, dump the mental.
So making it easy for you to do this. Yeah, so if you've got like your you've got mantras or anything like this too, and you do the reminder, like you can do that hourly or whatever. You can do lucid dreams like this. So this is how you would set up a routine, check reality. And my fingers go through, question reality, right? Do that every hour when you sleep. You will do it. So you'll become conscious and you'll go, oh wait, my fingers go right through. This is a dream. I'm in a dream. And you're conscious, awake, aware.
Yeah, right.
This is what we're doing in reality. Awake, conscious, this dream, in God's dream, in Source's dream. We're becoming aware as Source.
We're the creator of the dream, not the...
Our energy beings.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's like it's a movie, but we've just had a rogue director come in. He's pointing us the wrong way and giving us the wrong directions, and we're acting the wrong way. And so, yeah, that's how they do it. Cool. Awesome, mate. Cheers. Take it easy. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. See ya.
Hello.
Oh, now I can hear you. Cool. All right. Oh, now I can't hear you.
What's going on and off?